A single fighter jet can cost more than most people will earn in 10 lifetimes. Now picture about 80 of them stacked onto a floating fortress as big as a small city. One slip, one spark, one wrong move, and billions of dollars could disappear in seconds. Yet the US Navy does this every day, storing some of the most advanced machines ever built in one of the harshest environments on Earth. The real question isn't only how they do it, it's how they've refined the process so much that serious accidents are extremely rare. What you're about to learn will change the way you see American naval power. Right now, the United States operates 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers moving across the world's oceans. Each one carries roughly 80 aircraft worth billions of dollars combined. These aren't parked showpieces. They are fully combat-ready machines that can launch, land, refuel, and rearm at a pace most people can't even picture. But here's the true challenge: keeping all of those jets safe while the ship is sailing through storms, combat zones, and dangerous waters. The engineering behind this is pure genius. From huge enclosed hangar spaces deep inside the ship to elevators that move aircraft with incredible speed, every detail serves one goal: keeping America's air power ready and protected. If you're proud of what the Navy accomplishes every single day, type "proud" in the comments. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the military's most impressive logistics achievements. How does the US protect billions in aircraft on a ship? How do they move 30-ton fighters between decks in minutes? And why is the newest carrier class changing the rules completely? Stay with me, because the answers are bigger than most people expect. Let's start with the money sitting on the deck. The aircraft on these ships are not average military planes. The F-35C, built specifically for carrier operations, costs well over $100 million per jet. That's not a joke number. Over $100 million for one aircraft. Then you have the F/A-18E/F Super Hornet, the workhorse of carrier aviation. Depending on the contract and the configuration, these jets often fall in the tens of millions of dollars each, and some deals push them even higher. Add in specialized aircraft like the EA-18G Growler, built for electronic warfare, and the total value climbs fast. Now multiply that by around 80 aircraft. You can easily reach a total value in the range of several billion dollars in aircraft alone on one ship. And that doesn't even include helicopters, support aircraft, spare engines, weapons, fuel systems, and the equipment needed to keep everything running. It's a floating investment worth more than the entire economy of some small nations, and the Navy has to store it, protect it, maintain it, and operate it while moving across the ocean, often thousands of miles away from the nearest friendly airbase. These aircraft are not expensive toys. The F-35C brings stealth and powerful sensors that can detect enemies before enemies can detect it. The Super Hornet is a proven fighter that can win air battles and strike targets with precision. Every aircraft on that deck is the result of years of research, testing, and careful design. Losing even one is not just costly. It can weaken real combat capability. So how does the Navy prevent that? The answer starts in a place most people never see. When you watch videos of carriers, you usually see jets parked on the flight deck, launching and landing in dramatic scenes. But that's only a small part of the story. The flight deck can only hold a limited number of aircraft at a time. Many of the remaining aircraft are stored below in the carrier's huge hangar bay. Think of it as the ship's hidden garage, but on a scale that feels unreal. On a Nimitz-class carrier, the hangar bay is massive. It stretches hundreds of feet long, wide enough for aircraft to be moved and positioned, and tall enough for full maintenance work. This space isn't empty. It's packed with jets, spare parts, support gear, tools, fuel systems, and equipment needed for repairs. It can look chaotic to an outsider, but it's organized with a system that the Navy has refined for decades. The hangar bay is divided into separate areas, and that design has one main reason: safety. If a fire starts in one section, large fire doors can close to contain it. That can stop flames and smoke from spreading across the full hangar. This system has saved equipment and lives in the past. It's built around the reality that jet fuel, hot engines, and weapons are a dangerous mix if anything goes wrong. But the hangar bay is not only a storage space, it's also a working shop. Maintenance crews operate around the clock, running checks, replacing parts, and fixing problems before they become disasters. Deep inside the ship, you'll find teams dedicated to avionics, engines, and complex systems that most civilians never think about. These people keep the air wing alive. And here's what makes it even more intense. They do all of this while the ship is moving. Imagine trying to repair a multi-million-dollar aircraft while the floor beneath you is pitching and rolling with the sea. That's normal for carrier crews. They train for it. They live in it. It's part of the job. But storing aircraft is only half of the challenge. The real magic happens when the Navy needs to move aircraft quickly between the hangar bay and the flight deck. That's where the elevator systems come in. Moving a 30-ton fighter between decks sounds like something you'd see in a movie. But carriers do it constantly, using huge aircraft elevators built into the ship. On Nimitz-class carriers, there are multiple elevators designed to lift aircraft from the hangar level up to the flight deck. These platforms are large enough to hold a fully loaded fighter, and they can raise that aircraft in a very short amount of time. They are built for heavy loads. Think about it. An aircraft plus fuel plus weapons plus support gear. The elevator system has to handle that weight safely every time in rough seas, sometimes under combat conditions. It's not just strength, it's precision. One slip could damage a jet, injure crew members, or cause a chain reaction of accidents. That's why these systems are built with multiple safety layers and strict operating rules. Now, the newest carrier class changes the game. The Ford-class carriers use a redesigned set of elevators, including advanced weapons elevators and updated systems that move loads faster and with less manpower. Instead of older cable-based systems, newer designs focus on greater speed, higher reliability, and better efficiency. The goal is simple: move aircraft and weapons faster, with fewer delays, and with fewer opportunities for human error. Why does this matter? Because combat is a race against time. If a carrier is threatened, it needs to generate aircraft launches fast. More launches means more control of the air. More control of the air means better survival for the ship and everyone around it. Speed is not a luxury. It can decide who wins and who loses, but carriers aren't only moving aircraft, they're also moving weapons, and that is just as dangerous, if not more. Modern carriers store bombs, missiles, and ammunition deep inside the ship in protected magazines. These weapons must be moved upwards safely without crossing paths with aircraft movement in ways that create risk. That's why the process is carefully planned. Routes are controlled. Timing is controlled. People are trained to follow strict rules every time, even when tired, even in bad weather, even during high-pressure operations. Newer carrier designs also improve how weapons are stored and prepared. In older systems, some weapons needed more assembly work closer to the moment of use. Newer layouts reduce the travel distance and streamline the flow. Less movement means less risk and faster rearming. Faster rearming means more aircraft can return to the fight sooner. And there's another major advantage: automation and efficiency. Ford-class carriers are designed to operate with fewer crew members than older carriers. That means fewer people needed to run the ship, fewer bunks, fewer supplies, and lower lifetime costs. But it also means a tighter operation where systems do more of the heavy work. That reduces fatigue and helps keep performance consistent over long deployments. Now you might wonder why the Navy doesn't simply keep all aircraft on the flight deck all the time. It seems easier. But the flight deck is one of the most dangerous workplaces on Earth. One major threat is foreign object debris, often called FOD. A small bolt, a loose screw, even a piece of metal can get sucked into a jet engine and destroy it. On a busy flight deck, debris is always a risk. Storing more aircraft below deck reduces exposure and protects engines and airframes. Weather is another reason. Carriers operate in brutal conditions: high winds, salt spray, heavy rain, storm waves that slam into the ship. Salt corrosion is constant. Wind can shove aircraft if they are not secured perfectly. Keeping many aircraft below deck protects them from damage and keeps them in better condition over time. And then there is combat risk. Aircraft carriers are high-value targets. Enemies use missiles, drones, submarines, and aircraft to try to hit them. Jets sitting on the flight deck are exposed. A single successful strike could destroy multiple aircraft at once. But aircraft stored inside the ship are protected by layers of steel and structural barriers. The hangar bay is designed to control damage, contain fires, and keep the ship's mission alive even after a hit. In that sense, the hangar bay is not just a garage. It's a protective shelter. None of this works without the people who run it. Carrier operations depend on thousands of sailors who train for months and repeat drills constantly. Every person has a role, and small roles can have huge consequences. The crews who guide aircraft on the hangar and flight deck are trained to move jets safely in tight spaces. They communicate with hand signals, lights, and strict procedures. They coordinate with elevator operators and maintenance teams. One wrong turn could cause a collision that destroys equipment and injures people. That's why focus matters every second. Maintenance crews keep the aircraft ready. They inspect systems, test parts, replace equipment, and fix problems under pressure. Ordnance crews move and load weapons, working with live explosives in a confined space on a moving ship. That is one of the most dangerous jobs in the military, but they do it every day with calm discipline because their training is built around safety and precision. The Navy has spent decades refining this system. Training never stops. Drills happen constantly. Every crew member learns procedures until they become automatic. That is how the Navy reduces risk. It is not luck. It is repetition, discipline, and a culture where people take the process seriously. Now let's talk about why the newest carrier class is changing everything. The Ford-class carriers represent the future of naval aviation. The USS Gerald R. Ford entered service after years of development, and more ships in the class are coming. These carriers are built around one idea: generate more combat power with better efficiency. One major shift is the move from older launch systems to electromagnetic launch technology. This system is smoother and can launch aircraft with more control. It reduces stress on the airframe, which helps aircraft last longer and need fewer repairs. Landing systems have also been modernized with more controlled arresting technology that reduces harsh stops. That makes landing safer, reduces wear, and makes maintenance easier. Even the carrier's island, the control tower structure, has been redesigned to improve visibility and free up deck space. That means better traffic flow for aircraft and more room for operations. These changes might sound small, but together they add up to one powerful result: more aircraft in the air, more often, with fewer delays, and the future is moving even faster. Carrier aviation is starting to include unmanned aircraft that can fly missions with less risk to human pilots. Drone aircraft can stay in the air longer, pull maneuvers that would overwhelm a human body, and take risks that would be unacceptable for a manned jet. The Navy is also developing unmanned refueling aircraft to extend the range of carrier fighters, allowing carriers to project power further without relying on land bases. Manned and unmanned aircraft will work together, and carriers will store, maintain, and launch them using the same core systems: protected hangar spaces, fast elevators, efficient weapons movement, and highly trained crews. The technology is changing, but the mission stays the same: maintain total air superiority. So here's the real takeaway. Storing billions of dollars in fighter jets on an aircraft carrier is not just about finding space. It's about engineering, logistics, safety design, and the non-stop effort of sailors who make it all work. From the hangar bay hidden below deck to advanced elevators and streamlined weapon systems, every detail exists to keep the U.S. Navy ready for war at any moment. The men and women on these ships don't just move jets around. They protect national power. They protect allies. They keep threats in check. And they do it with a level of discipline and skill that few organizations on Earth can match. The next time you see a carrier in the news, remember what's happening out of sight. Remember the billions in aircraft, the training, the constant safety rules, and the system built to prevent mistakes. The Navy isn't just storing jets, it's storing the future of air combat. And as long as these carriers keep moving, America's ability to control the skies will remain one of the strongest forces on Earth. If you found this useful, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the machines and systems that keep America safe.